one of the things I want to look at here with this team is the back end of the depth chart. Why? Because Saturday night, when we're looking at the team, we're going to be looking at battles in those areas. I don't say back end of the depth chart, but who are some of the guys that are battling for some time here? So let's take a look at some of the spots and what kind of battles we have. Obviously, we know Hurts is the quarterback, Marcus Mariota, who is all of a sudden, and I got a nice nugget on Marcus Mariota, who had struggled in camp early, but I was told that one of the reasons that Mariota may have been struggling is the center situation. The Eagles went out and signed Josh Andrews and brought him in, who has had some center experience. He was getting some snaps from guys like Cameron Tom, and those snaps weren't, or they were low, they were wide, and that the timing may have been off for Marcus Mariota, and that he had his best day in camp on Tuesday when they had Andrews in there snapping him the football. The battle behind him is between Book and Tanner McKee. Book, the Notre Dame quarterback, McKee, the rookie from Stanford. So we'll see that battle materialize probably starting on Saturday night. I just went over the running back room: Swift, Penny, Gainwell, Scott, Sermon. I think those five are the only five really in play to make this team. How about wide receiver? Brown and Smith and Watkins. From all accounts, Watkins has kind of separated himself from Olamide Zaccheaus, and Zaccheaus was a guy that was brought in here that many people were excited that could possibly, and I don't say excited. I think people soured on Watkins a little bit. He had that drop in the Super Bowl. He made the comments in the offseason that, don't forget about me, basically. But he was an inconsistent but exciting player at times. He had the fumble in the game against Washington. That'll be a battle that I think will play out a little bit in these preseason games. And then behind them, keep an eye on Joe Nagata, Devin Allen. Those are names that I think people should keep an eye on. Nagata has basically been the standout of the wide receiver group, of the other group of guys. The tight end spot's interesting. Goddard and Stoll, I think they're locks. Calcaterra and Arnold. And then, of course, Tyree Jackson has been here. He's a former quarterback. He's had a lot of injury problems. Big guy, 6'5", very athletic. Can he stay healthy? On the offensive line, we know Mailata, we know Dickerson, we know Kelsey, we know Juergens apparently is winning that spot, and then there is Lane Johnson. But what else? I think one area to watch is what they do with Tyler Steen, the third-round pick, Jack Driscoll, versatile player. How do they use Dennis Kelly? You have a little bit more depth on this line than maybe you thought you had because of some of the additions that you just brought in. Josh Sills is now back with the team after that bizarre story last year. He has been acquitted of the charges. So he is back, and he is essentially a guy that they like at the guard spot. You have Josh Andrews that they brought in, a veteran player who has some center experience. So you've got him. Cameron Tom is a guy that they also have. They've been moving him around. So where are they going to play some of these guys? Roderick Johnson, Fred Johnson. So the Eagles have some interesting stories behind on the offensive line. Go over the defense. Graham Carter, Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Derek Barnett. I think one of the guys I want to watch on, and Contavious Street, they brought him in. Moro and Jomo, you're going to want to watch him on Saturday. I think one of the guys, though, that I want to watch a lot of is Milton Williams. I have not heard a lot of great stuff about Milton Williams. He's a guy that I've been pretty high on. I'm interested to see how Saturday night goes for him. Nick Morrow, Nakobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, Miles Jack, Christian Ellis, Sean Bradley, Ben Van Sumeren. I think you're going to see a lot of Morrow and Cunningham, Jack, and Ellis, and Bradley, and Van Sumeren. I don't think Dean will play on Saturday night. I think they want to try to keep him healthy. But it's really a battle between Morrow, Cunningham, and Ellis. We spoke with Clay Harbor from the Believe Network. He was on the radio with me on Monday, and he said being out at Bears camp, the difference between Morrow and TJ Edwards, he could see a big difference in that Bears defense. So I'm imagining the Eagles are also seeing the same difference in their defense. Corners, Bradbury and Slay, obviously, and then Maddox in the slot. And then, of course, you've got behind them McPherson, Greedy Williams, Josh Jobe, Kylie Ringo, and, a couple other young players that I think two names that are going to be names for you guys to watch on Saturday night. Let's go to the corners and kind of go through that. Mekhi Gardner is a name, 6'2", 212, LSU. A lot of people talking about what he's bringing to the table. Mario Goodrich is another another guy to kind of watch. So I think those are two guys that you guys can watch. on Saturday night as well. And then we go to safety. Blankenship is really the clear guy there. Not a lot of names popping out. I mean, last year, Blankenship was the name that did kind of stand out. Now, I think you're looking at Sidney Brown, Terrell Edmonds, Kevon Wallace, and you're hoping that maybe Justin Evans, who's a veteran player, proves his worth. There's Tristan McCollum is a player you'll probably see a lot of on Saturday night. One other name I will give you on maybe the defensive front is Noah Ellis, 6'4", 346 pounds. He was here last year. He's another big guy. He's in that defensive tackle rotation. You'll probably see a lot of him. So those are some names for Saturday night to keep an eye on. Those are some of the position battles that we got. And, of course, we'll keep it going here with the Believe in Eagles podcast.